People don't understand how
Stacking in my bag. Yeah, stacking in my bag. I like crypto grind. Currencies flowing, every coins on my mind. My Coinbase the upper, watch the numbers climb. In this damn fine, feeling so prime. Hustling these protocols, known to the man. Emptying out my radar, I can't understand. Jumping on the wave, watch me move the plan. Holding diamond hands in this crypto land. Got my eyes on the prize, making moves like a king. Every transaction here, cash raises ring. Ride a blockchain, we won't never be slow. In the world of finance, that's the profit.
if you're holding real world assets, utility assets, you are a bank.
Yeah, of course, we go over the news and stuff, but we just do what feels natural when we be doing our thing.
We gotta get this money on. Yo, what's good?
Yo,
What it do? What up, everybody?
what up? What up? What up?
What up? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get going. We on a time crunch today.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, y'all, we got some stuff to go over, man. So Coinbase is launching these crypto wallet infrastructure for AI agents. So Coinbase tapping in. We got Robinhood launching its own blockchain, Ethereum L2 built on Arbitrum. That's now live on testnet right now. We're gonna talk about that. We got Google launching agentic commerce for Etsy and Wayfair. I thought that was pretty big. Man, we're gonna talk about these bankers push the OCC to slow crypto trust charters until genius rules clarify. We're gonna talk about these credit unions as well. Let me see. We got we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some articles to go over, y'all. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about Robinhood a little bit today, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Appreciate everybody tapping in with us. What up, y'all?
What's good? What's good?
I'm gonna actually start off with this little Robinhood news, though. Trying to get this money on for the show.
Kathy Wood.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Art, because I'm gonna let you talk about Kathy Wood, and I'm gonna talk about the Robinhood article I got. But Kathy, what she got going on?
So Kathy Wood's ARK Invest, started buying because Bitcoin dipped below 66,000, and the market is nervous. They bought about $33.8 million worth of Robinhood and 11.6 million of Bullish, and then 4.4 million worth of Circle. So that's nearly $50 million in crypto related stocks. So if y'all don't know who Kathy Wood is, she's probably one of the best investors we've ever seen. She's the CEO of ARK Invest. She's known as a strong Bitcoin bull and invests heavily in disruptive technology, meaning AI, crypto innovation. So when these markets dip, she buys often, right? So what the market is doing, so Bitcoin dropped below 66,000. Robinhood stock fell nearly 9%. And then the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF saw $276 million in outflows. And then Ethereum ETF saw $129 million in outflows. XRP ETF saw no outflows. And so yeah. No, XRP ETF saw no inflows. My bad, no inflows. So but still, Bitcoin and Ethereum dumped, and Solana dumped a couple things too. So what does that mean? That Robinhood just launched the Robinhood chain. So it's a layer 2 blockchain built for financial services and tokenized real assets. And then Robinhood reported a record quarterly revenue of $1.28 billion, which is up 27% year over year. But it missed Wall Street expectations, and the stock dropped anyway. ARK likely saw this as an opportunity to buy, obviously. So Robinhood is now ARK's largest crypto position. Robinhood now makes up 4.1% of ARK's flagship ETF, and that's about $248 million worth. So that's a serious conviction bet. So what about these Bitcoin ETFs? So US spot Bitcoin ETFs had, like I said, $276 million in outflows in one day, fam. And then the total asset fell 85.7 billion, its lowest level since November of 2024. So institutions were pulling money out. that's short-term bearish, right? So the bigger picture here is this shows two things happening at the same time. Retail and ETF investors are pulling money out, and then the long-term conviction investors like ARK are buying weakness. So that's classic market dynamic. And if ARK is right, this is a short-term correction, and then crypto could recover once macro pressures ease. But if ARK is wrong, the dip could deepen, and Bitcoin could retest lower levels like 60,000. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Okay.
She just
Now,
buying the dip though.
I literally just got a notification about Bitcoin. It's at 65,000 right now. So starting to dip again. I don't know. We, just looking at some patterns. Bitcoin definitely could go lower, just according to historical patterns. So man, hey,
She buying the dip.
the weak one's gonna fold, the strong one's gonna remain. So we about to see. We about to see. So while he's talking about that, I know you briefly mentioned the L2. So I'll go a little bit more in depth in that with Robinhood launching its blockchain. So yeah, y'all, Robinhood is on it. I'm not a big fan of Robinhood, but we reporting the news. Robinhood launches its own blockchain, Ethereum L2 built on Arbitrum. Is now live on testnet. So Robinhood, so they built their layer 2 blockchain on Arbitrum technology aimed at supporting tokenized stocks, ETFs, and other real-world assets on chain. So the move opens the network to developers and lays the groundwork for a mainnet launch later in 2026. So some key facts here is that its public testnet is now live. So it is in a testing phase. So the Robinhood chain testnet is publicly accessible for developers to experiment with. And it's a financial grade Ethereum L2 built on Arbitrum, compatible with standard Ethereum tooling. Number 2 is designed for tokenized assets. So the chain's initial focus is on real world and digital assets like tokenized US stocks and ETFs. Number 3 is developer access and integration. So developers can build apps and connect to documentation and network endpoints as the ecosystem expands. And you have early integrations from infrastructure partners like Alchemy, Chainlink, Layer 0 are already in progress. So features and goals. So the goals include 24/7 trading, cross-chain bridging, self-custody wallets, and support for advanced DeFi products like lending markets and perpetual futures. And then number 5 is the mainnet timeline. So the next step is a mainnet launch later in 2026 after testnet iterations and integration testing. So what this really means is rather than just offering tokenized assets on existing networks, Robinhood is building its own blockchain infrastructure tailored to financial grade performance and compliance. So this enables Robinhood to better customize the environment for regulated assets and DeFi use cases instead of depending solely on general purpose blockchains. So this move also mirrors a broader trend where traditional crypto platforms expand into infrastructure ownership, which lets them control both the user experience and the settlement layer. Also, this is big. This is big for Robinhood. So this is TradeFi and DeFi integration. So Robinhood chain aims to bridge traditional finance with decentralized finance infrastructure, enabling tokenized stocks and ETFs to interact with DeFi liquidity and applications, potentially reshaping access to markets historically restricted to centralized systems. And it's also infrastructure competition. So this does build. This builds on a trend where financial platforms launched their own layer 2 blockchain, reflecting increased competition in the blockchain infrastructure layer. So like Coinbase's base is a good example. And then you have developer ecosystem growth. So by inviting developers early and integrating with ecosystem tools, Robinhood may accelerate new on-chain financial products, but the success still depends on adoption beyond experimental stages. So this testnet activity does signal interest from developers experiment with tokenized real world assets and DeFi integrations. So long term, if Robinhood chain succeeds, it could expand on-chain trading and settlement of traditional assets, increasing the scale of tokenization and bringing more traditional capital flows into blockchain ecosystems. And the chain uses Arbitrum again, so y'all can do your homework on Arbitrum's layer 2 framework. So it does inherit Ethereum security and benefits from lower fees and faster transaction batching compared with Ethereum mainnet. So we ain't got to worry about them high ass gas fees either. So, but no,
Right.
Robinhood on it. They're not playing.
No, they're not playing. They're not playing because they want to be, one of the people that's in the forefront of this shit. So they're not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. If they doing all this shit right here, they making a concerted effort to do all this stuff that right here, what you just explained. They gonna be around for a while. They gonna be
That's
around
a
for a
fact.
while.
That's a fact. Make sure y'all keep tapping that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come in on YouTube. Run them lights up for us, y'all.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
run those likes up because if Kathy Wood is buying it, and even though it dipped like 9-10% or whatever, it ain't going no fucking where at all.
No, that's a fact.
She tripled down on Robinhood because she probably saw this as like, oh, this is getting it on the cheap. So,
that's a fact. She know they're not playing. And Robinhood is on everybody's phone already. Most people use Robinhood or have it. So, but let's talk about these credit unions. So, U.S. credit union regulator proposes stablecoin license pass. So the credit unions is like, to hell with y'all. We're our own shit.
Yeah. So, so a major U.S. financial regulator, which is the National Credit Union Administration, the NCUA, just proposed the new rules about stablecoins. So they want to create a federal license for stablecoin issuers connected to the credit unions. This is tied to a new law, called the Genius Act. Of course, this is what we've been talking about. So, who is the NCUA? The NCUA regulates over 4,000 federally insured credit unions. So they oversee about $2.38 trillion in assets, and they protect about 144 million members. So think of them as the referee for credit unions. So what is this new proposal that they're talking about? So the NCUA is proposing if a credit union wants to issue a stablecoin, it cannot issue it directly. Instead, it must create a separate subsidiary. That subsidiary must apply for a special license called the PPSI license. So it's a permitted payment stablecoin issuer. So if they don't get a license, no stablecoin. And then there's some investment restrictions. So credit unions also cannot invest in and cannot lend to stablecoin issuers unless they have this PPSI license. So the NCUA is saying if you're not federally approved, we're not touching you. So two big things here. Public blockchain protection, because this is big for crypto. Public blockchain protection. So the NCUA cannot deny an application just because the stablecoin runs on a public blockchain like Ethereum or Solana or other decentralized networks. So that's huge. So that So that means they cannot reject you for just being crypto native. And then number two is a 120-day approval rule. So once an application is considered complete, the NCUA has 120 days to approve or deny it. So if they don't act within those 120 days, it is automatically approved. That's powerful because they may overlook some shit. They may be like, oh shit, 120 days go by like that, fam. 120 days go by like that.
That's plenty of time too, so it ain't even no arguing here. It's nothing to debate.
That's 1,000% because that's only 4 months, right? That's only 4 months. So that's powerful because it prevents regulators from stalling applications forever. So what this proposal is not, at least yet, right now, this proposal is only about licensing structure, oversight process, and investment restrictions. So future rules will cover reserve requirements, capital requirements, liquidity rules, anti-money laundering rules, and technology risk management. So this is just one step, family. So the bigger picture here is this is not anti-crypto. This is actually a move toward federal oversight, clear licensing pathways, and bringing stablecoins into traditional banking. So it signals that stablecoins are being taken seriously. They are becoming part of the regulated financial system. Bam.
Woo. Speaking of stablecoins, we're gonna stay on the stablecoins real quick since
okay,
talking about it. So yeah, they got an article here saying the clock is ticking. So crypto bills 2026 fate hinges on Trump and stablecoin yields. So this is the stablecoin yields is definitely stirring the pot right now, y'all. It's just the whole yield the whole yield thing. But yeah, let's get into that real quick. Hold on. The clock is ticking. All right, so U.S. efforts to pass a comprehensive crypto market structure bill in 2026 are stalled and uncertain. So two issues are dominating negotiations. So it's how stablecoin yields should be treated under the law and political concerns tied to President Donald Trump's connections and crypto business interests. So lawmakers and industry groups are debating both questions and progress has slowed as a result. So the key facts here is legislation status is uncertain. So crypto market structure legislation um, hasn't been finalized yet, and its passage in 2026 is far from assured. So they just, I feel like this is a FUD article, low key. I feel like they just they trying to keep that uncertainty, that confusion in the air. They trying to keep that going. And so stablecoin yield debate is central. So a major sticking point is whether stablecoin holders can earn yields or rewards. So an issue where banks and crypto firms strongly disagree. So banks argue that allowing yields could pull deposits from traditional banks, while parts of the crypto industry say limiting yield will reduce innovation and competitiveness. And then you have market structure bill components. So if passed, the bill would broadly regulate the crypto industry, define which regulators oversee certain assets, and impose new disclosure standards. And then you have political and ethical obstacles. So ethics concerns about President Trump's personal involvement in crypto ventures, including holdings and family ties, are influencing how Democrats view the legislation. So some Democrats may be hesitant to support a bill tied to Trump's crypto industry connections. And the Senate Banking Committee is a key battleground. So markups and debates are postponed while disagreements persist. And committees may wait for a revised draft language before progressing. So what it really means. So this isn't just about writing rules for crypto. It's about reconciling competing visions of digital finance. So traditional finance perspective here is that banks want restrictions on stablecoin yields to avoid losing deposits and preserve the banking model. The banking model is being dismantled. And let me tell y'all why. Let me tell y'all why the banking model is being dismantled. And me and my sister was just talking about this. I was just telling D about it. It not only is it just about the yield and the stable coins and blockchain technology, but the paying for Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna are also fucking with the banking model. So y'all got to think about this. A lot of people try and downplay the paying for or using Affirm, but let me tell you why using Affirm is a little bit better and actually makes more sense financially, because when Affirm says, "Hey, this is your interest. This is what you owe us. You got this. These are your payment options." It with credit cards and the traditional banking model, I'm gonna be paying, like, if I spend $2,000-3,000 on a vacation and I just pay the minimum payments or I pay the interest, like I have to keep paying that interest until I pay the credit card balance off. With Affirm is saying the trip is $2,300, our interest is another $200, so it's $2,500. You got 12 months to pay it off. That's it. I got 12 months, and once I pay the balance off, that's it. But with a credit card, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think the entire banking industry is getting ready to be dismantled, in my opinion. I think a lot of stuff is getting ready to change with credit and all of that, as I've been telling y'all for years. That all of that, that's why I kept telling y'all, stop stressing about credit. Not to say not stress about it or not to care, but I think a lot of stuff is getting ready to change, because when you start changing how people use like credit cards and spending money, now we disrupting the whole banking model. So you got to factor all that in too. So like the bank's going through it right now because the revolution is here. It's over for y'all niggas. It's over with. Regardless of how you try and flip it, it's over with. It actually makes more financial sense to use Affirm than a credit card. Like if you could put a trip, a hotel, a rental car, a concert tickets, whatever on Affirm, it make more sense for you to use Affirm than a credit card right now. It's actually it's stupid to use a credit. If you have credit with Affirm, it's actually stupid to use a credit card. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I had to sit down with it. And actually, when my sister, the way she broke it down, and she was saying, no, it made more sense to use Affirm. And this is somebody with an 800 credit score. that's saying I'm not using my credit cards no more for trips, hotels. I'm using a firm. This is somebody with plenty of money. And they're saying, it just makes more sense to put this on the firm. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. A lot of these companies. Yep. Because even Crypto KB said even Cash App. Yep.
Yeah,
better than credit. Yeah.
In the credit card, that's a fact, KB. And shout out to Lotus Vibes with some more gems. She said the banking system doesn't align with the new paradigm shift. Oh my goodness, you just said a word right there. It does not align with the shift that is happening. It doesn't align. It's over in every way, shape, and form. Whether you want to talk about it from a crypto blockchain perspective, or we could talk about the paying for, like it doesn't align with in the direction that we're going. So all this stuff getting ready to mantle game. It's
who said that 10% credit cap would crush banks? Damn.
Oh, it would. Yeah, that was like the biggest argument they was having. So yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah. So where was I at? Yeah, the banking model. And then the crypto industry perspective. So many firms want the ability to offer stablecoin yields and incentives, arguing that these features are essential for competitive digital financial products. Because these sides are far apart, the legislation's future depends on negotiated compromises and political and political debates, not just legislative text. So we'll see how this goes with the Clarity Act. Just to kind of give y'all a little update, we kind of talked about it yesterday, but I know Trump is giving it until March 1st to get to negotiate or get this done. Again, I think this is theater. I think the bill's already done. I think everything's lining up perfectly with the timeline that they are using. Again, we talked about calendars and stuff yesterday. These people operate off of a totally different calendar than we do, totally different New Year's, all of that stuff. I think March and April are some months to be paying attention to. I'm not saying stuff is going to pop off. I'm not putting timelines out there. I'm just saying watch what unfolds between March and April.
Yeah, because right now it's kind of slow. Right now it's kind of slow.
Right. So I think, and don't forget, we're going into a water month. So historically, if you look at XRP, and when XRP starts moving, historically, it does start moving sometimes in Pisces or in water signs. And so we do have Pisces is coming up next. So just some stuff for y'all to just be kind of paying attention to on watching how these people move. And then we also waiting on some crazy world event to occur as well, some black swan that probably could usher all this shit in. So we'll see. Yep. Bill is complete. They just showing what happened so they don't get in universal karmic trouble. Yeah, facts, Hart. They say Russia is returning to the US dollar. I did see that headline. I'm gonna look more into it. We're gonna probably talk about that in the Patreon later. I did see that headline though. I did see that in the Patreon about Russia returning to the US dollar. I think it's hilarious. We're gonna talk about it in the Patreon. We're gonna talk about it later because I ain't got too much time right now. But but yeah, let's talk about what's this next thing? Bankers. Let's talk about bankers push OCC to slow crypto trust charters until Genius rules are clarified. Was this my article, D, or yours?
I think that was yours. Hold on.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, banking industry groups led by the ABA, which is the American Bankers Associations, they are urging the OCC to pause or slow the approval of national trust bank charters for cryptocurrency and stablecoin firms. Oh, they are threatened. They are threatened to the highest degree that they are asking they are asking for them to basically slow down. So they want regulators to wait until the Genius Act's rulemaking and implementation framework is clear before granting these charters. So who is calling for the delay? It's the ABA, which is a major bank and trade group. They wrote a comment letter to the OCC asking for more time and clarity before green light and crypto related bank charters. Because y'all know Ripple about to come in and dismantle all this shit. It's so good.
Said he about to bring the waves, huh?
Man, it's about to be a ripple effect. It's about to be a ripple effect. So the ABA wants the OCC to hold off on approving a new national trust bank charter for crypto stablecoin firms until the regulatory obligations are reached. So the 2025 U.S. stablecoin law has to be fully clarified, is what they saying. Which could be true, but so why now? So this comes shortly after the OCC conditionally approved several crypto firms' bank charters, including entities like BitGo Bank and Trust, Fidelity, Ripple, National Trust Bank, to hold and manage digital assets under federal oversight. So the ABA argues that digital asset focused trusts that don't take deposits or carry FDIC insurance may pose safety, operational, and consumer protection risks, especially in areas like consumer asset segregation, cybersecurity, and insolvency planning. So they're also concerned that some crypto firms could use trust charters to avoid other regulatory scrutiny by the SEC or the CFTC, depending on the activities they engage in. So this push reflects tension between traditional banks and crypto firms over how and when digital asset companies should be integrated into the regulated banking system. So the ABA wants regulators to delay until the full compliance picture is clear, emphasizing risk management.
Another stall tactic. Gotcha.
Yeah, another stall tactic.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
meanwhile, crypto firms see national charters as an important route to legal certainty and federal oversight under uniform rules. So yeah, man, like D said, another stall tactic. But these are bankers. The bankers are trying to push the OCC to do this. The OCC, like, nigga, we just gonna do whatever the fuck they tell us to do. Y'all niggas, y'all just talk.
Yeah.
Like
we don't want people getting that. You know, we've been they didn't had us under they didn't had us under the spell for so long. It's like you don't know nothing different. So introducing all this shit that we've been talking about is uncharted territory, but they know that, you know, at the end of the day it's control. So Bitcoin and crypto markets race for impact from fresh US data, right? So I think there's a video down there if you want to play it.
Yep. Okay.
Non-farm payrolls for
you hear it?
Yep.
January coming in twice expectations at 130,000, 130K. That would be the juiciest going back to April of last year when it was 158. Now, if we look at a couple of months worth of revision, they came in at minus 17,000. Now, let's look for average hourly earnings month over month, up 0.4. That's 1/10 higher than both looking back and looking forward. 0.4 would equal October last year. You are all the way back to the summer of 24 to find a higher month-over-month earnings number. Let's go year over year. 3.7 exactly as expected. 1/10 light to 3.8 in the rearview mirror. So how does that stack up? 3.7 would be the lightest since it was actually 3.6. Thanksgiving of last year. Now let's look at hours worked, shall we? 34.3. That increase, that's a good thing. That's up 1/10 from both what we were expecting and our last look. 34.3 would equal November. To find a higher one, you're all the way back to March of 24. Now the unemployment rate, maybe the most important number of all, and it moves down 1/10. 4.3%. All the naysayers out there, they're going to like this set of data points. 4.3 would be equal to where we were in August of last year. To find a lower number, you're looking at June of last year. Labor force participation moved up as well. More good news, 62.5. That would be the best since it was 62.6 in April of last year. And drumroll, please, the final number I'm going to give you is U6, the underemployment rate, and it comes in at 8%. 8%. Last look was 8.4. 8% would be the best going all the way back to July when it was 7.9.
I be trying to figure out what the hell they be talking about, fam. Because basically what he broke down is, so basically job growth surged in January, so adding 130,000 total non-farm jobs and 172,000 private job sectors, shattering expectations once again. This is what they saying. The unemployment rate fell and wages grew. The federal employment is now at its lowest since 1966. This is Trump's economy. If I peel that back, I'm trying to figure out, like, one, what's these jobs? Two, the jobs that they're adding, are people actually filling these roles? And three, Is this supposed to be like a sign of like, oh, good things? Are they just trying to control the narrative, control the data, so
That's
shit
exactly
don't
what it
start?
is.
You know what I'm saying? So basically what this article is talking about is Bitcoin fell around 66, 68,000 and is struggling to stay stable. So traders are waiting to see what happened. So why inflation matters for Bitcoin is because inflation affects the interest rates, the money printing, and the liquidity for sure. And then when the interest rates, excuse me, are high, borrowing is expensive. Less money flows into risky assets like crypto. So when the rates are low, more money flows into stocks and crypto. Bitcoin usually benefits. What's happening right now is recent job data was stronger than expected. 130,000 new jobs added and unemployment fell 4.3%. That sounds good, but here's the twist. When the economy looks strong, the Fed doesn't rush to cut interest rates. So that means higher rates for longer and less easy money and more pressure on Bitcoin. So scenario one, if inflation is high or if it's hot, if inflation comes in above 2.5%, the Fed likely keeps rates high. The market could drop and Bitcoin could fall towards that $60,000 level. 60K is a major psychological support level. If it breaks that, fear increases. And then scenario two is if inflation is lower than expected, if inflation cools down, markets may expect full future rate cuts. And then, you get more optimism and Bitcoin could bounce towards 74,400. So that's that key resistance level. But another big factor here is Federal Reserve leadership. So Trump nominated Kevin Warsh, who is considered pro-Bitcoin, to potentially replace Jerome Powell after May. So what that could mean is different future monetary policy and possibly more crypto-friendly stance long term. What traders are watching is, according to the CME Fed Watch tool, is that 95% probability that the Fed keeps rates unchanged in March. So no immediate rate cuts expected. Right now, markets are stuck in this weird situation. So good economic news equals bad for crypto. Why? Because it delays rate cuts and liquidity. So they trying to like just
They
keep
control
this
the
shit.
narrative.
Yeah.
Because now because at first they were calling for rate cuts in March, and now they got pushed to April.
Yeah,
So,
like somebody said, they gaslighting.
yeah, that too, for sure. Definitely agree with that. So let's I got another article.
Somebody said anybody else tired.
Man, I think everybody in here tired, gang. So let's talk about Coinbase real quick.
All right.
Coinbase, and then I'm gonna let you go over your article. Then I gotta head out. But Coinbase, so they just released a crypto wallet structure for AI agents. Coinbase. I thought this was big because we've been talking about AI agents a lot. So I thought this was pretty cool. When this, seeing this come out. So let's talk about Coinbase real quick. So Coinbase has launched agentic wallets, the first crypto wallet infrastructure built specifically for autonomous AI agents. So these wallets allow AI systems to hold funds, spend, earn, and trade cryptocurrency on their own without needing a human to approve every transaction. So what agentic wallets are? So they're wallet accounts designed for agentic agents, software programs that can act autonomously on tasks. So unlike normal wallets that humans control, these let agents initiate transactions themselves using crypto rails. Crypto rails. Crazy. So how it works? So it's built on Coinbase's developer platform and the X402 payments protocol, which already processed tens of millions of autonomous transactions. So agents can trade tokens, send payments, and earn yield without human intervention, misuse or errors. And then we have private keys are kept secure inside Coinbase infrastructure rather than exposed to AI itself. And then you have speed and usability enhancements. So support for gasless trading on the base network so agents can operate continuously without needing ETH for fees. So developers can create and fund wallets in minutes using Chainlink's tools. So yeah, Coinbase is extending its role of crypto from something humans transact with to something software systems can use autonomously. So Y'all be on the look for these AI agents or AI assistants or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, pretty big.
No, that's huge. That is huge, man. Crypto wallet infrastructure, AI agents.
AI agents. All right. Here we go. There we go. I'll let you go over that one.
All right.
Got this
So
Ripple article. Ripple custody just unlocked Ethereum and Solana staking, and institutions may finally get XRP yield without messy validator risk.
yeah. So basically, what happened here? Oh, let me pull this up. Shit. All right. So basically, what happened here? Ripple has enabled staking for Ethereum and Solana within its institutional custody business. So they expand beyond the safekeeping to include servicing features that large investors increasingly consider the standard, right? So this new capability, delivered through a partnership with staking infrastructure provider Figment, enables Ripple custody clients to offer staking on major proof of stake networks without setting up validator infrastructure. So this service provides operational simplicity with institutional controls. So this is a combination aimed at banks, custodians, and regulated asset managers that want staking yield but do not want staking operations to sit outside their governance perimeter. So the move also highlights in the structural difference between XRP and the proof of stake asset institutions commonly hold alongside it. And then Ethereum and Solana can generate protocol rewards. XRP cannot, at least not today. So for custody clients that benchmark crypto servicing against familiar concepts such as security lending, revenue on cash, that gap matters. So Ripple's choice of Figment indicates what institutions prioritize when requesting staking. So the separation of duties, operational assurance, and audible framework. So Figment says that Ripple selected it for its track record of serving more than 1,000 institutional clients, its non-custodial architect, and its focus on regulated participants. And this architecture matters because in practice, because many institutional buyers prefer custody and validator operations to remain distant functions. They want clear lines around who controls the asset, who runs the infrastructure, and how risks are monitored. And then the staking also carries a type of operational risk that traditional custody clients recognize immediately. Validator performance requirements introduce failure modes, and slashing related outcomes can be difficult to explain if governance and control standards are unclear. Like we say, fam, this is about control, fam. So
Italy.
yeah, it's about control. We told you it is what it is. So the addition of Ethereum and Solana staking also highlights what XRP does not provide: protocol level staking rewards. So that omission becomes tangible at the custody layer. A platform that offers only XRP can store assets, support transfers, and provide reporting, but it cannot offer a recurring on-chain yield program that XRP's native mechanics have. So meanwhile, Ripple's ecosystem is exploring the XRP ledger staking and what it could look like, but these discussions point to economic constraints, not cosmetic ones. So the developers are, looking into this stuff. So they getting it together. It's piece by piece, right? It's just to note that XRP led investment products attracted 63.1 million last week. So during that same period, products took in 8.2 million from Solana, and Ethereum drew 5.3 million. So XRP took in 63.1 million last week on their products. So
Yeesh.
I don't see too many outflows from XRP, according to the data.
Damn. Okay. Yep. Okay. Cool. So yeah, y'all, that was pretty much all we had for right now as far as updates go. There's a couple things we're probably gonna talk about in the Patreon later. So make sure if you're not in that Patreon, make sure you join the BlockNation Patreon. For those that have been thinking about it or would like to, definitely worth it. A lot of the news that happens is in there, pretty timely too. Like y'all be on it in that Patreon
No,
with
yeah, I do.
putting the updates in there. I'm talking about we don't waste no time sharing the information and making sure everybody is hip. So yeah. But other than that, y'all, man, so the slots are filling up for that class that we are doing. That the early bird ends tomorrow. So make sure you guys get that early bird, especially if you're in the Patreon, especially if you're in the DeFi Patreon. Make sure you get the early bird. Again, that class is gonna be on February 22nd. It's called the DeFi income stacking class, where we're turning yield into cash flow. So we're not chasing those high APYs anymore. I think those are starting to fade away in the DeFi realm. But we are working on basically creating cash flow, creating multiple sources of income. That's what we're gonna be focusing on. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about how to pay yourself without killing your position, compounding and extracting income. So make sure you tap into that class. So we can all get this, get these extra streams of income together and be making money in our sleep, because that's the goal here. Yesterday we talked about BlackRock entering the DeFi space. BlackRock is here now. DeFi ain't going nowhere. If the
Yes, we
$12
heard.
trillion asset manager has tapped into DeFi, I think you need to be learning DeFi. They got $12 trillion and they still want interest. You got whatever you have. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if a $12 trillion company is like, we want more and we want interest, then what's stopping you from being more hungry and wanting more? So make sure you're not limiting yourself, family. Make sure you're not limiting yourself.
Right.
Then D and them, that they still doing these free trusts. Now I don't know how long the company plan to do these, but we gonna keep telling y'all and promoting it to get y'all in those free trusts and spreading the word as long as we can. So make sure y'all hit up D and fill out that questionnaire to get that free trust, because that's gonna be imperative moving forward, especially for all of us holding these digital assets, these life changing assets. It's gonna be imperative to have that trust set up for sure.
Yep. Just go to the link in the bio. Free trust. Oh yeah, for business owners, we got tax strategies for y'all. So this Sunday there's a free class too on that as well. The link is in
Dang,
the
so
bio for
y'all
that.
looking out for the business owners with the tax strategies as well.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
So
some. Yep.
make sure y'all tapped in with that. That's gonna be big as well. Dang. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we got a lot going on over here in BlockNation, just trying to look out for the people. But yeah, man, make sure y'all tap into the DeFi income stacking class. Again, the early bird ends tomorrow. So make sure y'all tap into that. That class is gonna be on February 22nd. But other than that, man, that's it. We'll tap back in with y'all when we got some more updates. We may or may not be on the Patreon later. I know D has something. His time is limited on Thursdays, so we'll see and we'll see what else comes out. But I do want to discuss this Russia situation, so I'm gonna look into that. If anything, it'll be us on there. D just have to probably hop out early for those that's in the Patreon. But yeah, other than
Yeah.
that, man, we'll see y'all in that Patreon, bro. Appreciate
All
everybody
right.
tapping in with us. Y'all be
Absolutely.
easy. All right, y'all.
All right.
Want my refund from the Telegram? My inbox. You inbox me on Telegram, or where you inbox me at? Send a message again so it'll be at the top. And make sure you send your email. Send your email on top of that as well. But we on Patreon now. We on Patreon, so yeah. Okay.